It's a question that's popped up everywhere, right? In myths, in religions, even in those late-night chats you have with friends. What if we could actually live forever? So we're going to dive deep into that because let me tell you, the answer, it might not be the paradise you're picturing. And yeah, this isn't some new sci-fi idea. I mean, think about it. This desire to beat death, it's been with us, haunting us, ever since we first started burying our dead. It's like it's woven right into the fabric of who we are, a really fundamental part of the human story. And that right there, that's the heart of what we're going to unpack today. We're going to build up this incredible dream of immortality step by step, only to watch it, well, curdle into a total nightmare. Because it turns out the promise of eternal life, yeah, it's hiding a pretty terrible price. All right, so first things first. If we're going to live forever, we've got to solve the problem of the body, right? We have to figure out how to dismantle that biological clock that's ticking away inside every single one of us. See, our bodies have this built-in kill switch. It's called the Hayflick limit. Basically, there's a set number of times our cells can divide before they just stop. Think of it like making a copy of a copy on a photocopier. Each time you do it, the image gets a little worse, a little blurrier, until eventually you just can't make out what it is anymore. That's kind of what happens to our cells, and that breakdown is a huge part of why we age. Okay, so the challenge is, it's huge, but let's just pretend for a second we solve it. Bam, we get rid of the Hayflick limit. We figure out how to endlessly repair those little protective caps on our DNA, the telomeres. Maybe we even get some sci-fi nanobots that are constantly rebuilding us from the inside out. We've done it. We've conquered biology. The body can last forever. And that's exactly when the real problems start. So, okay, we fixed the physical part, but that's only step one. The body might be able to last forever, but what about the mind? Can it handle eternity? And here's the thing, a really crucial point. So much of what gives your life meaning, your ambition, your passions, that sense of urgency, it's all secretly shaped by the fact that your time is limited. Death isn't just the end. It's more like the frame around the picture of your life. It's what gives it its shape. I mean, really think about it. Why would you start that company today, or write that book, or finally learn to play the guitar? Why do it now if you literally have a million years to get around to it? Without a deadline, procrastination wouldn't just be a bad habit, it would become a permanent state of being. And our relationships, what happens to them? A big reason we cherish people is because we know deep down that we can lose them. That fragility is what makes love so precious, so tender. But if you knew you and your partner would be around for literally ever, would that fire just cool into this, a permanent lukewarm routine? And this might be the deepest question of all. After millennia, after you've lived 1,000 different lives and have this mountain of memories, every amazing moment, sure, but also every single mistake, every gut-wrenching heartbreak, would the person you are right now even exist anymore? There was this philosopher, Bernard Williams, who basically argued that your identity, the very essence of you, would just dissolve. Okay, so the individual mind is already in big trouble. Now, what happens when you multiply that by billions of people? What happens to our whole civilization when nobody ever leaves? Yeah, this really lays it out. Think of our world now like a flowing river, right? It's always being renewed by new generations, fresh ideas. But an immortal world? That's more like a frozen lake. It just stagnates. The same people, the same companies, the same old ways of thinking could rule forever. All that progress we value, it would just grind to a dead stop. And then you've got the most obvious problem of all, just bodies. Overpopulation. I mean, our planet is already straining. What happens when the population meter can only go up, never down? Just think about it. Birth itself could become a crisis. It might even become a crime. Humanity would be trapped, frozen in time. Ageless, sure, but also infertile. But, okay, let's keep playing the game. Let's say we somehow solve all that. We manage the population, we figure out a way to keep things fresh. Even then, there is one final unbeatable enemy that you just can't escape: the universe itself. Because even an immortal person can't outlive the entire cosmos. You would be doomed to have a front row seat to the slow, cold death of everything. You'd watch our sun go out. You'd see galaxies collide. You'd witness the very last star in the universe just flicker, and die. And then what? You're just floating alone in an endless, silent, dark void, and you can't die? That's not immortality. That is the ultimate solitary confinement. Which brings us all the way back around, and it forces us to look at this whole question differently. Maybe, just maybe, death isn't the enemy we've always made it out to be. Maybe it's something else entirely.
And this is really the key. Mortality isn't the opposite of life. It's the frame. It's what gives life its shape, its contrast, its value. You take the frame away, and the painting is just a smear of color with no definition.
Our mortality, the fact that we know we're going to die, is the source of almost everything we consider human. It's the reason we act, the reason we discover. It's why we love with such incredible intensity. It's why a moment of pure joy feels so precious, and why we have this desperate need to create something that will outlast us. These aren't things we do in spite of death. They are things we do because of it. So yeah, the dream of living forever might save us from the pain of an ending, but it seems like it would also rob us of all the things that make life worth living in the first place. Which kind of leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. If there were no finish line, would we ever even have a reason to run the race?